eyes are on Jamar Chase. Always staying busy, he's your league leader in receiving yards. It's the Bengals and the Colts on Thursday night.
These folks in the Circle City, they love their Colts, and they have packed the house tonight as we welcome you to Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis. Tonight, Week 15 begins with a great Thursday night matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Indianapolis Colts. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And CD, you look at the Bengals in this matchup, you figure they've got to be looking forward to this one. They've got a clear advantage on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and they totally understand it, not just by running the numbers, but those numbers do play into it because you've got one of the better passing offenses in the league, a top 10 unit, going up against one of the poor defenses in the league. So I think we're going to see these guys take some shots downfield. But right from the start, I expect them to attack and get right after him.
Evan McPherson has this one teed up, and we are underway from Indianapolis. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
And when you look at him, you see that he's got all the tools you want in a quarterback. The big frame, the quick release, strong arm, has escapability. The issue sometimes tries to do too much instead of just taking the throws that are available to him, and occasionally turnovers get him into trouble.
Wentz to throw on the first play from scrimmage. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
And part of why they came to this week with a winning record is that they feed off of mistakes like this, and now it's a prime opportunity. Just moments in the game to get a short field touchdown off of their big defensive play. Now on the other side, they were already the underdog in this one. They just made their uphill battle just a little bit tougher.
So here are the Bengals now in great field position to start. And at quarterback from the University of Oregon, it's Justin Herbert.
And he's had a great season so far throwing the football. Very likely could go over 4,000 yards with a good performance here. And even in an age of passing first, that is no small accomplishment.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Inside handoff to Mixon. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Once again, they run with Mixon. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
That's a nice run. Big way to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. Well, you get a look at their key inactives for this week's game. And Charles, clearly you don't want to have any of these guys unavailable, especially when you're where they're at fighting for a playoff spot.
I agree, because the postseason is on the line. So you got...
That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Bengals use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Evan McPherson now for the PAT. He hasn't missed an extra point all season, and he won't miss this one either. And it's 7-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it will come out to the 25. Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Wentz. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman. Finding room at midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. So this defense for the Bengals, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys? Coming off of the last game, you play on a Thursday night, guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
Trying to punch it in with Taylor. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. He needed 2. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. And the Bengals will get the football back. So their first drive of the game already trailing, having given up points. But a little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game. That they've got to match them point for point as opposed to, hey, we'll get them later. Maybe he just has that sense, and that's why he decided to go for it there.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, they come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
On 2nd and 2, Herbert avoids the target, and he has it over the middle. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. From the 50, here's Herbert. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. On On second down, here's Mixon. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's got Hurst, his tight end. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And a nice milestone reached on that last throw as here late in the season, he goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long, had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
44 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the ball. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd and 2, first down marker at the 8. They'll run again with Hunt. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. Mixing up the middle. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there, and each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. There's Michael Pittman and the rest of this offense getting set for the upcoming drive. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open. That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Wentz going to give this to Taylor. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. $14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Indianapolis with the homestanding Colts in possession, as they've got it with a third down coming up. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run for the first with Taylor. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. First and 10, Taylor now. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. They came with a safety blitz, and Daxton Hill got home. Now, the #1 mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
And if you're wondering just how quickly that sack occurred, the next-gen stats tell us 2.6 seconds is all he had to throw the football. And Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away. We'll call that a 41-yard punt. The net a little greater, though, following a loss on the return. And the Bengals take over first and 10. Joe Mixon and the Bengal offense ready to go back to work. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football. Nick moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Alexander Johnson, the one to drop it. That's a step in the right direction defensively here because you're facing this sizable deficit. You're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction, and that means it's something to build on. So you get the first one, and hopefully that can ignite them, and now they can make a few more plays and get back into this game.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And some room to work. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. Wentz going to throw. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. B.J. Hill able to record his 5th sack of the season. Well, you're already up a couple of scores here in the first half defensively. And, Charles, they just seem to be playing really free on that side of the football.
I love the observation because with that type of a lead, they think they can take a few more chances and be even more aggressive. And it's been paying off for them so far this game.
Yeah, this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Throwing is Wentz. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
Cincinnati set to take over once again. They are back to 500 on the year, got the win last weekend, and it's one that kept their playoff hopes alive.
And if you do have those hopes, 500 is not where you want to be at this point of the year. Now, we know they've battled through some rough patches this season, so it now comes down to how they're going to finish. Not out of it. Can't afford any more missteps, though.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we could at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, and this defense has had its share of problems getting guys to the ground. And here's another example. They never should have allowed this play to gain as many yards as it did. But poor tackling early in the play led to big yardage after the fact.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Here's a give to Mixon.
He'll get this down to the 38.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Again, it's Mixon. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And that will extend their lead even further.
So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having.
Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted.
Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. After the turnover, here's Herbert to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a 1st and goal, trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here if they force a field goal try.
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals.
Joe Mixon
with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half.
And the Bengals are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the rout is on here in this first half.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. His interception on that last drive set the other guys up pretty good. They had solid field position. They cashed him with a touchdown. Now he's got to try to get things right here. 1st and 10.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now he dumps this off over the middle. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Wentz is intercepted yet again. Picked off by Sean Murphy-Bunting. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Colts going to take over now late in this first half. And Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here. But with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Wentz, that's caught by his tight end Dawson Knox. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. I see an extra defensive back on the field. A little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Now Wentz. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So no incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
Well, they got the ball already. They're not going to risk the yardage and running another 4th down. They decline it.
And what was that they taught you in law school, that possession is 9/10 of the law?
I didn't go to law school.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did. Well, I'm going to give that to you anyway. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and it's 9/10 of this game, too. Having the football counts.
You're so litigious.
At their own 24-yard line.
He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Man, where has the season gone? We're into week 15 now. So let's give everybody a look at what's coming up here on what should be a very interesting weekend of football. Some good games to look forward to in the early window, especially the one in Baltimore. A big one coming up for the Ravens as they'll match up against the Cleveland Browns. Lots to look forward to in the late games as well. One of the best being up in Seattle, where we find the Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And lastly, we'll wrap up the week on Monday Night Football. Definitely one to tune in for, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Tennessee Titans. Now time for a check of the next-gen stats in the first half for the Bengals. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the 3rd and 4th quarters. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they did even less on the ground as they struggled to get the run game going. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, Well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in this second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point.
The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC.
And the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Now a handoff. Hunt's going to run left. He'll get a yard. That's all as they get him down at the 28. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Herbert on 3rd down now.
Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Mixon will try the right side. Able to slither by. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
76 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football.
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown.
On the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
McPherson now for the extra point.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays.
And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it.
Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. Throwing on first is Wentz. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Flushed out right.
That is caught. Michael Pittman with it.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 23 yards the pickup there.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
Wentz.
And his throw here is incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From midfield, here's Wentz.
Working the middle here, that's complete to Knox, the tight end. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 36. Up the middle, here's
Here's Taylor. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the third quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
On third down, here's Taylor. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
It's fourth down.
And Lambeau will put this one through, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit.
So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That one good for 26 and a first down.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
Now it's Mixon running right, and he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front, because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to fourth down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And they'll play keep away from the returner, as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Here we go.
On 2nd and 12, Wentz. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Indianapolis. KJ Hamler, his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Colts are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter.
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And that will cut this lead down to 25.
Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. taken at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They could definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it, and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
On second and a couple, Herbert.
That is taken in by Hurst. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Well, fans expect these primetime slots to deliver some of the best games each week. And, well, one team has certainly followed through with that tonight. Just an absolute clinic, Charles, on offense here. And they don't seem to be done trying to drive that football.
Yeah, and continue your theme about one team enjoying it. One fan base is enjoying it as well. The other fan base, they might disagree with what they've seen, but the one that's winning, they're certainly getting their money's worth.
They'll run with Hunt on second down. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. On 3rd down.
It doesn't matter whether they scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Herbert setting up to throw on 1st down. And, oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line.
107 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
On 1st down, Wentz.
Connecting here with Pittman on the out route.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards for number 11. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing now is Wentz. Flush to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And I notice you use the word sparked because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. Now he steps away. And he's taken down, trying to
to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up fourth.
Pardon my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
Now Wentz, gotta have this one. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Colts unable to convert here on fourth down. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. A handoff to Mixon. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Herbert's throw here into the hands of Boyd. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Well, where our booth is here, we can see all of the writers to our left. And their post-game stories, Charles, they have been filed for some time because this game, boy, is it lopsided.
Yeah, we can see our guy Scoop. He's even got his fedora tipped over his face. I think he's taking a nap now. Nothing left to write for him, but how gratifying has it been for them to see what they've done in practice and carry it into a game and see the execution be so good. They've got to feel fantastic about what they've accomplished in this one.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Colts football, and Michael Pittman, helmet back on and ready to go. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now Wentz. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Logan Wilson in there to drop him, and that is the 7th time tonight that he has gone down.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side, and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. They try to eat some clock with Mixon. And down he goes at the 45.
Trying to bring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
136 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Well, partner, under the lights in primetime, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
And, Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they're just meant for the big stage. And when they get a chance to play in this type of atmosphere, where all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly, they show up and they show out.
So for Cincinnati, they pick up win number 7 on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to savor this one before they take on the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans.